Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Kaylin and I have been doing like a low buy time of the year. I've just finished my no buy in October and I've been thinking about more ways to like fill your time without spending money. So I have 10 more tips of things to do instead of spending. And number one is to find stuff in your house to sell. I have sold a lot of clothes over the years on Vinted and eBay, both for myself and my kids. But you're not limited just to clothing. There are so many things in your house you can sell, and it's surprising the things that people will buy from you sometimes. Like if you think about even car boot sales, like the things that you see people buying at them, like it is true that one person's like trash is another person's treasure, and like there's no limit to what you can sell as long as it is in working like order and it's in reasonable condition. Somebody will probably want it. And it's a good way to make some extra cash as well. Number two is to read about people that have lived through difficult time periods and to take inspiration from them. Like I find it really inspiring reading about people that lived through the First and Second World War, the Great Depression, the potato famine in Ireland, and just like it helps you to put everything in context and see that your problems compared to that time, it's maybe not that bad. And it makes you really appreciate the things that you do have, and it just makes you realize what's important, and it gives you so many ideas because people had to kind of demonstrate like a lot of inventiveness at that time to come up with alternative ways of doing things because they just didn't have the same availability of goods and they didn't have the same amount of money to work with, or they just were going through so many difficult things. And I think that reading about someone who has lived through something worse than you can really put things into perspective and kind of give you a little bit of a reality check about like what a real struggle is. And I'm not saying that people don't have real problems now, because I know they do and I've had them myself, but like I think it just really helps me to feel grateful for what I have and the things that I'm not going through when I read about what other people have survived in the past and the ways that they have created things out of it that have been really inspiring. Number three is to go to your nearest community centre or library and ask about what events they have on. You might be surprised by the number of events that just aren't well publicised. For example, in our library, and it's like a little small library that doesn't have like heavy footfall, but they still have a reading group. They had like a big birthday party event for their 50th birthday, and they had a writing group that I went to for a while. They have a reading challenge that is on all year long for kids, just to keep them motivated in their reading, and they can win little prizes. And there's a community centre just around the corner from where I live too, and it has like different sports classes. There's like, they even have like bingo and stuff. They have like, there's a knit and natter group I just remembered about that takes place sometimes either in the library, community centres, or just like nearby in churches. I went to a very cheap calligraphy class once that was held in a church which is just around the corner from here, and it was £5 per class, and the lady that took the class provided all of the tools and showed you exactly how to do it, so it was well worth the money. And it was like, it gives you a skill that you can take away with you and use at home as well. Number four is to challenge yourself to declutter a set number of items in one day. Like you can set whatever number you feel is reasonable for you, or if you want to really challenge yourself, you could do like 100 items. Like once you start looking at items one by one, you might be surprised by just how many there are in your house. I know that, I can't remember the exact figure, but I know in the average household there's like several 100,000 items, which is just crazy. So if you think about it like that, like if you got rid of 10 or even 100, you shouldn't even really notice that it's missing, unless you're just one of those people that is very, very organized and minimalist anyway. But I just find it is a good way to kind of redirect your energy, and it takes you out of a shopping mindset and into a clearing out mindset. Number 5 is to do cheap gardening. You don't have to go and buy all of these like expensive gardening supplies, and I know there are lots of places that try to sell those to you. Like there's so many garden centres near us that not only sell really expensive gardening equipment, but they sell everything else too and make it look like you need to buy it quickly or it's going to be gone, or like you won't be able to make it through another day without that tool. You can just work with what you have on hand, even if it's very little. Like you could try with vegetable scraps, regrowing them. There's lots of information online about that, and you can just regrow them in your kitchen, like literally some of them in a saucer of water. And you can also just like plant seeds. You could plant herbs. You could get pots of herbs from like whenever you're doing a grocery shop, and then just repot them so they last longer. Weeding is free to do, and you can do it with your hands. I actually find it more satisfying doing weeding with my bare hands than wearing gardening gloves. And just watering your plants, that's something I always forget to do, but I know that I need to make a point to do it because my plants at the front door are looking quite sad at the minute. I watered them earlier, and I need to be better about having a set day every week when I do it. But there's probably always something you can attend to gardening wise, even if it's just like a potted plant. Number 6 is to make your own bird feeders. This is something that I did a lot with my kids whenever they were being homeschooled. The easiest one that I found that the birds absolutely loved was if you get a toilet roll tube, you like cover it in peanut butter and then roll it in seeds, and then you can hang it outside. You can just put string through it to hang it up, and as soon as I put them out, they just descended on it and it was gone in like one day. They just really loved it. And I also have made my own bird feed mix with like the natural peanut butter, you know, with no added sugar or anything, mixed with oats, raisins. Apparently they really like grapes, and you can just look up recipes online and add whatever you like. And I like attracting birds to the garden with like food because you can watch them and it actually makes you slow down, like taking the time to look out the window and watch them, and it's nice to know that you're helping something to thrive as well and find food, especially when the weather's getting colder. Number 7 is to do a digital declutter, and this is one I really need to do. I do it in bits, but I'm quite lazy about it, and then my phone storage is always completely full, and it's annoying. You could spend like days or weeks, if you're like me, with decluttering photos and emails and just anything that's taking up unnecessary space on your devices. Sorry about the barking. Plus you can probably hear the TV in the background because my daughter is watching something that sounds awful. Number 8 is make soup, because there are so many kinds you can make. There's no limit to what you put in it. You can use up scraps from your fridge and just be really creative. You don't need to go shopping to get special ingredients. And just putting strange like combinations together sometimes works out really well. My favourite soup that I've ever had is my mum's parsnip and apple soup, and it's not like really something that I would have thought to put together in a soup, but it just works so well. I might have to make some of that soon actually. And yeah, I just find it like a really cozy activity to do. It makes the house smell nice and feel warm and homely, and then you have lunch made for the week and you don't have to worry about making other things. Number 9 is to go for a long drive. This is something that I think my grandparents' generation used to do a lot. They would save driving more for like an actual like day out, and sometimes if the weather wasn't great they would just go for a drive without actually having a destination in mind. And like I think that can be a nice thing to do. I've done it before with the girls when we've gone on little holidays and the weather has been absolutely terrible. We've just driven around looking at lovely like views and having a picnic in the car and doing like little car games and stuff, and it can actually be a really nice way to spend time together, or just clear your head if you're on your own as well. And number 10 is kind of random, but it's to enter competitions. And by this I don't mean entering everything that you can find or everything that you're bombarded with in your email. I mean like actually seeking out companies that you like and entering competitions and giveaways that they have, or creators that are like smaller businesses that are giving away things you genuinely would like to win, because the more you enter the more likely you are to actually win stuff. And my family have this weird thing where we seem to always win raffles. Like recently we won a raffle where one of the girls got a free term of a clay workshop after school. We've won Christmas hampers about 3 times. We won a voucher for a local shopping centre to spend £20 on whatever we wanted in it. And I'm sure there's more as well. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, if you don't enter it, you can't win. And I just think it's worthwhile. And you can also enter things to do with your specific interests. For example, today I entered a writing contest. It was like writing a story that was 100 words long on a specific theme, and it was free entry, but there are cash prizes. But even if you don't win, I find it motivates me and helps me get stuff done, and it's just definitely worthwhile. So I hope these tips are helpful to someone. Thanks for watching, and hi to any subscribers. And feel free to leave any comments below. I'll see you soon. Bye.